Happy Christmas! You look fantastic! Yeah, she looks really cool. So Kirsten's now arrived, running her twins, which is amazing, and looking very smart. So yeah, very slick. That's actually, both those sails are on the one foil, so she'll be able to roll them straight up, and that's one of her little secret weapons, I think, that's been able to keep her going so well in the Southern Ocean, running downwind. She doesn't have to worry about spinnakers, and yeah, I know. Anyway, yeah. So actually, that's Kingston just in there, isn't it? That's, yeah. This first one's Blackman's Bay, but the next one's Kingston, just around the corner. So it's the second beach just here. You might just make it. Yeah, don't jibe yet. Yeah, so just anyway. So, but she looks very cool, and it's been a real rush. She just about beat us in. We've been waiting. She was drifting for a long time, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh, I could come in with the sea breeze and stuff. And fortunately, we just kicked it in time. We don't have a rib. We're here on Alex and Alex and Jackie's beautiful Naiad, and we're going to change plans a bit. There's a nice breeze blowing, and we're looking forward to seeing her. She's got a huge smile on her face. Look at Kirsten. So it's exciting, absolutely exciting to see her, and look and go so good, and see Minnehaha with a bone in her teeth flying along. Absolutely clean bottom. You know, she's got a very clean bottom there. No barnacles. Got a bit of slime up on the bow, which is interesting. It's really interesting. It's the typical bow wave pushing through. That's kind of interesting. Usually you get that on the stern. You very rarely see it on the bow. You can see her surging ahead like that. Looks like a very nice hull, that one. And certainly we've got quite a few people already looking at GGR 2026 and thinking Cape George 36. It's got a fantastic waterline length, big powerful sail area, and reasonably parallel waterlines, not excessive beam. It carries it straight, so she looks great. Looks very cool. And Kirsten's happy to be here, of course. She knows, we were speaking on the radio, I've already tipped her off where she stands in the fleet. She hasn't stopped smiling, she's still smiling. So it's a good way to arrive, that's for sure, with a bone in her teeth. So yeah, no barnacles on the blue anti-fouling, and there's none on the quarters either, which is very interesting. I would have thought she might have had some barnacles on the back of the boat, but it's clean. Yeah, very cool. There's some ships in the harbour here. We've been watching them. Whoa! We've been watching them, and they tipped me off the breed was going to change when we saw them swing, when it was light, and we had to get organised. Anyway, we're here, and we're happy to see her sailing in. The sails look good. She's not reporting any big deal problems with the boat at all. Touch wood. And she'll be happy to get here and head on out and chase Simon as well. This breeze is blowing probably 20 knots or something. Is pretty much a typical sea breeze for Hobart. I'd sort of forgotten about it in some ways, so we nearly got caught arriving late. But the problem is, if she turned around and goes the other way now, it'd be a horrible exit from here. But what'll happen is she's got to wait for the 90 minutes, and that'll run through till about 7 o'clock tonight. And then when she actually leaves to go, it'll still be blowing on the nose, but it'll likely drop off about 8 o'clock, and it could be nothing. So I think she might have some challenges getting out. Simon, of course, has got out pretty clean, and he's well on his way down into the Tasman, ready to sail underneath New Zealand. And Abelish is on a big win at the moment. He's been boring in with the breeze, caught up a heap on Kirsten. I last looked a few hours ago, and he was less than 150 miles away, and he'll continue to do that. So we should expect to see him maybe sometime tomorrow night, if all goes well. Depends on the last approach, but she looks pretty good now. Look, we're sailing away. We can we can probably head over a little bit. We can probably head over a little bit closer if you're ready. doing his own filming as well. So we're happy to have their beautiful boat, the Salter, because we couldn't get a rib in the last minute. We had a problem yesterday, and the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania are really looking after us, but it's bad timing, Christmas Day. In fact, we've got one spectator boat here, a nice power boat over there, that came out to see Kirsten in, but everyone else is right in the middle of their afternoon nap after a big Christmas dinner, and that's kind of the way it goes for Christmas. Anyway, I know there's a lot of people watching early hours of the morning over in Europe, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people up in Cape Town watching her sailing. She's absolutely flying. It's looking so good. Yeah, very cool indeed. Very cool. Sadly, we can't give you any French commentary at the moment, but when we're alongside, we don't have Ada here. Ada's trapped in Europe having a big Christmas family get-together, and I know she wishes she was here. We've been talking regularly, asking what's going on. We looked at all sorts of ideas to get a French commentary, but didn't quite work. And of course, Kirsten can speak French, so when we do the interview, she'll have a lot to say in French. We're just converging now to get a little bit closer. So, but certainly it's a beautiful boat. She rebuilt the whole thing up in Nova Scotia. It's a bit hard to get too close yacht to yacht and get the microphone over there. So we can go a little bit closer if you want. You call the shots, don't hit her. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no problem. That's why, because we don't want to get wiped out by the jibe, so we're on the lee here. So anyway, but looking very cool indeed. Yeah, just be ready for the jibe. We don't want to. We're just watching out for the jibe. Anyway, that's your beach in there. That's where you're going in there. Yeah. Okay. I love plastic. Yeah, it's really something. Really something. So this is a big revelation for a lot of people. That's been a secret weapon, and I think I might be building one of those sails. It's brilliant. Some people, well, you can see she's got the inner staysail wire there to put Hank's sails on. That's furled at the moment. That's her staysail. But I always say to people, it's great to have two furling gears up the front, where you have a Genoa number one on one furling gear and number two on the second one just behind it. And that's what Tapio used to have, and certainly what I've used a lot in the Southern Ocean. And this is another alternative, and it seems to be working really well. She cranks along without having to use spinnakers. And you probably heard Simon saying spinnakers are not such good value in the Southern Ocean because there's always a sea, and they always flop around and lots of stuff. And that's my attitude as well for that sort of sailing. But anyway, if you can't have two furling gears, that's another way to do it. And it's not a new invention or anything. It's been around for a long time. A lot of cruising boats use it and discuss all the various advantages. But you can see what it's all about. It's a good example of how it all works. I'm just giving people a lesson on your twins. So anyway. Yeah, we can't quite hear you. So did you get any sleep last night? Yeah? She just... Yeah, okay, so she just... Okay, she just said yes, she did get sleep last night. No wind. If the people were watching the tracker, you would have seen. Just danced around doing nothing at the bottom of Bruny Island. And it would have been supremely frustrating. But that's the challenge of coming up here, and just to remind everyone, why do we come in to do this film drop? It was all part of Bernard Matessia's plan. He came into the bottom of Tassie here and waited for a long time, waiting for a fishing boat, and he found one and passed over all his letters and films to the fishing boat and asked them to be delivered to the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, which they did. And we had a big discussion with the club about that in 2018, and they and I think they still had a copy. It's on their history anyway, in the whole thing of receiving the letter from Bernard Matessia. So it is an integral part, and certainly for the followers of the race, it's fantastic because you get to see everyone again live, and get to see their emotions. And I got to tell you, Kirsten's not stopped smiling until we got here, so she's still smiling. Anyway, it's all part of the game, I suppose, and it's certainly challenging, and it's tactical, and it gives some of the entrants have got a chance to gain and some lose and stuff like that, but that's yacht racing. It's the same as the Sydney Hobart race. Everyone complains like crazy about Storm Bay here. The race can sometimes be won and lost in Storm Bay, but that's the challenge of yacht racing. And if you enter an event and that's the course, you accept it and get on with it, and you don't have to like it, we accept that, but it's kind of fun as well. So we're happy to see the entrance through as much as it's challenging. Okay, so very soon there's a lot happening. What we'll do is we'll keep rolling this one until Kirsten starts to furl her sails and everything, and then we'll shut it down, and we're going to organise what's going to happen now. Because we don't have the rib, we're going to go in here with the yacht, and we will anchor, and once we're securely anchored, then Kirsten will actually come up alongside. We'll have fenders over the side, mooring lines ready. She will tie up alongside us, okay, and then we don't touch her. We obviously have to handle the lines and so on, and we'll do the interview alongside the yacht, yacht to yacht, so that will all work out okay. And we will get the French interview as well. We'll let Kirsten explain everything in French. Looking very cool indeed. I know Kirsten was worried at the beginning of the race in Les Sables d'Olonne. She got all the sails delivered and they all seemed to be a little bit too big, but since then she said that it seems to be working okay, so wasn't too stressed about it, but had a few days of concern there for the moment. You'll see she's flying a Q flag, the yellow flag on the starboard spreader there. That's as if she was going to make a landing. She's not, but there is a set procedure coming into Australia. All of the entrants, first of all, have to have what's called an ETA visa, so they've all got an immigration visa in case they had to make a landing. We've had to log full entry on all the boats coming in because they're coming inside port limits and so on. So we've done all of that, so the customs, immigration, quarantine know what's going on. And then there's very strict quarantine rules here for bio issues, and so the entrants are not allowed to touch their hull underwater at all. If they touch the hull, if they were over the side swimming, it's a €5,000 fine and could have a time penalty as well. And that was part of the agreement that we worked out with Australian biosecurity, quarantine and so on, so that we don't have any invasive species coming off into Tasmania. So everything is pretty cool, but fortunately no one's really had a barnacle issue from here, so that's kind of cool as well. I think you're about to see some action slowly. The wind's dying down as we get closer to the coast. So we've got a big ship here in the river. I don't know whether I mentioned it. It looks very much like he dragged his anchor. He's just over here right in the middle of the channel, and he wasn't there when we left home a couple of hours ago. He was anchored right up alongside the other ones over there. Can you show the ship, Jing Jing? The one around the beach there? Yep. Yeah, here we go. So that one there, it looks as if it's dragged. I'm not totally sure, but it's certainly an unusual place for it to be anchored, and it was anchored right over the other side of the river previously. So so normally about now I'd say we'd shut it down and catch you in the other side, but I want to show what happens when she furls these up. The pole is up really high. It's not like running a spinnaker, but she's got a track going up the front of the mast, the leading edge of the mast. We're just furling up our sail behind us right now. That's if you hear that noise. And so she slides the pole up. It's got a topping lift. It's got a doesn't have a downhaul on it. No, she's just got she's got the sheet. Oh, she does. She has a downhaul there, but it's a lazy downhaul coming back, and one to the fair lead at the bow, so she can really strap that pole in to stop it jumping up and down and moving around, which is good. Kirsten's the only one in the fleet that I know of that's got mast steps going all the way to the top of the mast. They're, by the look of it, I think they're the synthetic ones that you buy. They're quite cool. They're not that super heavy and certainly makes it easier to get up the mast. She's been up a few times to check things. She waits until it gets good weather, obviously, to do it. But, I think that's not a dumb idea either, Kirsten's done so much sailing, probably 260,000 miles, a lot of high latitude sailing in heavy weather, and she's still a performance sailor, but she's not what you call a Grand Prix racer, but she certainly knows how to sail. And so, she's got priorities, and one of them is to get around and get to the finish, Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm in a Father Christmas suit. Long story. But anyway, that's to keep Kirsten happy. So Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. I think people in Europe are probably just waking up. The kids will be up there ripping into their presents and wondering what's next and so on. But here it's coming to the end of the afternoon. It's a hot summer for us, but it hasn't been that hot. It's about 25 degrees here. So, yeah. Wow. Boat looks fantastic. Yeah, very cool boat. So, I know the resale value of rustlers went up about 10% because of the GGR, and now they're high prices for rustlers. And I think there's the funny part about the Cape George 36 is that there's not a lot of them being built, but I think the ones that are available have all been snapped up already. So okay, wow, yeah, very cool, very cool. Yep. Yeah. Okay. We're going to go ahead and anchor now. So we'll just get a bit organised here, and then I'll just tell her what we're going to do. You want to just slow down a bit? Yeah. If you slow down a bit, and I'll tell her what we're going to do, and then we can carry on. Okay. Yeah. I could tell her on the radio. Yeah, it's okay. I'll tell her on the radio. So, okay, we're going to shut this down now. I can't get you, but you can see what's going to happen. She's going to furl up that simple reefing gear, and it'll fold both sails up together. She'll lower the flag and lower the pole, and that's it. And she's ready to go. But we need to get in there now and get settled for her to come alongside, and then we'll have a big chat and see you soon. Thank you. Merry Christmas, by the way. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you. Hurry up, Jean.